Hello YouTube comrades, TemnoTsar here with another game review. Before I get started with that, I hope you all had a really good Valentine's Day. I know I did. My wife and I went to the nearby city of Washington, Missouri. Excuse me, my pronunciation of it. We went there. I bought her a stuffed bear, a stuffed husky that I found. I bought her a flower, chocolates, and had a nice little setup of candles for her. Bought her a balloon, which is still right here, floating around my living room right now. And then after that, we went out to eat at a pasta house in Union, Missouri. Highly recommend going to a pasta house. Amazing places. I had the shrimp fettuccine, really good. Then we went shopping. We spent like $150. We bought 3 Blu-rays for our Blu-ray player, and then bought the Yugi and Seto Kaiba for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Obviously, reloaded structure decks. So we've been playing with those, kind of tweaking them. We're making our decks exactly like Yugi and Seto's decks, so we won't be having any cards outside. Okay, I have to keep double checking my webcam. I have my screen covered so that way you actually see my eyes, because I know that's probably getting really annoying where I have the light coming from the monitor and all you see on my glasses is the monitor. You don't actually see my eyes. So I'm trying to be a little bit more professional with my webcam, and I'm covering my screen. So every so often you'll see me look, and I'll lift up my blanket that I have covering it just to check, because I've been having issues with it disconnecting. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We're going to make our decks just like the Yugi and Seto Kaiba's decks. Throwing in the God cards. I'm pretty much running a Blue Eyes support deck with all the cards Kaiba used. I'm not going to throw in any. Now, my wife might change her deck up a little bit. That way, it's not 100% like Yugi's, but I'm sticking with 100% like Kaiba. But that's pretty much what we did for Valentine's Day. In the comments below, let me know what you guys did for Valentine's Day. I really hope you guys were safe and had fun. But without any more interruptions, let's get to what this video is all about, my game review. And today's topic is Tropico 5. And I'm going to start things off by saying I've played every Tropico game from the beginning till now. And I'm a huge fan of the game series. It lets me live my lifelong dream of being a dictator. Obviously, I'm TemnoTsar, so obviously that is my life dream of being a dictator. So this game is going to be, I'm going to nitpick at it, but you'll be surprised at what the score is at the end. The first thing, as always, is the soundtrack. Now, Tropico 5 has been known for having some pretty funny soundtracks. This one's no exception. I'm giving this one a 5. The voice acting for it was outstanding. I loved the way the characters sound. They're funny, and if you listen to each character, you can kind of pick out like their personality. Like Pinocchio is kind of this funny general who thinks highly of you and pretty much just wants to sit there and kiss your feet. And then you have like Leon Kane, who's this really sophisticated person who has this really good plan, but and the vice versa. If you listen to him, he just sounds evil. So, and I love the talk show, the radio, just hilarious. The things that they say is funny. So I'm giving it a 5. I also love the music, the very Caribbean dance music going on. So I like that too. So I'm giving it a 5. Now the graphics, I kind of struggled a little bit with. I kind of wanted to give it a lower score, but I am going to give it a 5 because out of all the other Tropico games, it had a much better graphic. I mean, the islands look beautiful, the buildings look nice. The only issue with the graphics I had was, of course, the avatar creator. I was a little bit displeased with it. The character's all disfigured and blurry, and it didn't settle well with me at first, but after I kind of started playing the game, you really don't pay attention to your avatar. You're paying attention to everything else, so I can kind of understand that. And I mean, it does let you create a little bit on it and make your avatar look a little cool, but in the same sense, it's blurry. It looks rushed. I'm hoping that in the next Tropico game, Tropico 6, when and if they make it, they improve the avatar creator a little bit, or just get rid of it altogether and just make it to where you have a picture. But that was a little bit of a letdown. But other than that, everything else looks amazing, so I'm giving it a 5. Next down on my list is controls. Now, as always, it's a city building, resource management type game. Can't really mess up the controls. It's not like a first-person shooter. It's not like I Am Bread or Surgeon Simulator. And I just saw something flash on my screen. Okay. So it's just me talking with my hands, making my screen go crazy. The controls, I'm giving a 5. Once again, it's a simple game. Hotkeys are pretty much laid out for you. You use your mouse for almost everything. So again, it's got to get a 5. I can't say that the controls suck. So it's what I expect in a game. Gameplay. Again, resource management. The buildings tell you exactly what they need for resources. So say I'm building a creamery. I need milk. It says makes cheese from milk. So then I need ranches to produce milk. Cows or goats. I think, yeah, goats make milk. So right there, I know what I need. Then you get like the furniture needs logs from wood. So I need to make a foresting logging hut, something. I forget the name of the building. I never actually really pay attention. I just read what they say and I just plop them. But you need to have someone cutting the wood, then you have to have the log factory, and then you can make the furniture. It's simple. I mean, you just go up the ladder. So I give the gameplay a 5 because it's real simple to master. It's real simple to learn. It pretty much lays out everything for you. You have to have people, so you have to house them. You have to make sure they're happy, but in the same sense, you have to be making money, so you have to have work for them. And unlike SimCity, this game actually makes it to where you can see who's unemployed, you can see who's homeless. Once you build a house, they'll go there. And the AI is actually pretty smart in this one. It's not retarded like Banished, where, oh, there's a housing open? No, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stay homeless. No, in this one, as soon as you plop a house, and if they can afford it, they'll move in like immediately. I always like to build low-end houses. Sometimes when I get really bad on homeless, I'll build the apartments. That way I have a lot of space, a lot of housing for a lot of people. But most of the time I like to build the country homes because they'll feed themselves. So that's always nice to have. But again, once you get like 50 or 100 homeless people, you're not going to want to plop 50 or 100 country homes. Plop up apartment, click. I did like to have it to where, tight quarters, but as you guys saw in one of my Let's Plays, I actually turned those off because no one was moving in. You want to watch your housing quality. You want to make sure your housing quality is at least 30 to 40, if not higher, because if it's not there, and it's not a country home, because I know country homes have low housing quality, but people move there because they get free food. But the apartments, once they drop to like 20 or 10, nobody will move in unless it's like absolutely the poorest of the poor. So you gotta watch that. But the gameplay is really easy to master. A child can learn it. So I'm giving it a 5. Can't really complain about the gameplay. It's what I expect from a Tropico game. And the storyline. Now, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on a lot of the storyline because I've played this game once already. I have all the achievements unlocked, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Tropico 5. The storyline is pretty much simple. You're a rising dictator. It shows your rise to power in the colonial era, and you just kind of rise up. Then in the middle of the game, the storyline kind of takes a turn. The Order betrays you and tries to erase the world that they created and start anew from that. Well, as the dictator, you realize, oh, well, that's just going to kill off everybody. There's not going to be a world to recreate. So you try to stop it, you fail. So you go to plan B, which is to just jump into a time machine and start over. So, interesting little storyline, really creative for Tropico 5. And I thought it was pretty funny. The storyline is hilarious. I'm not going to tell you anything else because that'll ruin some parts of the games. I am doing the Let's Play, so you will see the storyline unfold. But it's hilarious. It is funny. I enjoy the storyline. It always makes me laugh. That's one of the big reasons why when I have a bad day at work or something, the first thing I do is I jump on Tropico 5. Because it's funny, it makes me laugh, and it's an easy game. I mean, you can't really argue with it. But that's my review on Tropico 5. I ended up giving the storyline a 5 because it's what I expected from the Tropico era, which gives Tropico 5 my very first perfect score of a 5 out of 5. In all retrospect, it actually is higher than a 5 out of 5 because the soundtrack, amazing. The soundtrack just blew my mind. The voice acting, the radio talk show, the sound effects that come from the streets, the music, all of it was just amazing. I know a lot of the music is actually copyrighted. That's one reason why when I do my playthroughs, you'll notice that there's no music. All my games have no music turned on because of the copyrighted purposes. The only game that I did not turn the music off was Star Wars The Old Republic, and that's just because I started the game with music on. I'm going to finish the game with music on. I apologize for that, but that's how I'm going to play that. But no, soundtrack blew my mind. The gameplay was pretty simplistic, so that's still going to stick with a 5. The graphics will be a 5. The storyline, I kind of actually felt that I should give it a higher score than a 5, but I only do a 5 out of 5, where I should actually do a 5 out of 10, like 1 out of 10, and 10 being like amazing, 5 being, you know, my basic. But I don't want to actually give a game a 10 out of 10 because that's just too much. It really is. So I'm doing a 5 when in hindsight, everything is actually like 5 out of 10, things like that, or 4 out of 10, because 5 is actually my middle ground. But I'm cutting out the 5 to 10 because no game really is that amazing. But Tropico 5 is definitely that amazing. I highly recommend you guys go and get it. It's fun for anyone. Granted, the game is rated, I want to say it's rated T for teen, but I think you could push it and allow 10-year-olds to play it. 11, 12, 13. I think that's a safe error for them to be playing it because the game is really good. It allows you to do resource management, population management. It really makes you sit there and think and actually work for your common goal. So it's an easy game. I think it's safe to say that some 10s, like the 10s, 10, 11, 12, I think it's safe to let those play the game. Now, once you get to like 9, 8, 7, games got too much crude humor in there. Definitely not allow them to play. But the game is good. It teaches a valuable role of managing your resources, managing your money. So yeah, I enjoy it. So the game's the first out of all my games so far to get a perfect score of a 5 out of 5. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about Tropico 5. So, YouTube comrades, as always, rock on.